This roulette strategy, at first glance, might look ridiculous, and trust me, if I saw somebody playing this system whilst I was working as a casino manager, I would have thought they were absolutely brand new to the game of roulette, or they just hated money and wanted to lose it all. But as we take a deeper look at this roulette system, I think you'll change your mind and see that it has a lot of potential to be used with a friend to win at roulette and make some quick money. This system was inspired by a member of my Discord community called Magic Raven. We were discussing the kefir system. That's the one where you can work as a team to beat the roulette wheel. Magic Raven posed a question: wouldn't this system work better if instead of both friends betting on even chance bets, instead they bet on 2 of the 3 dozens, or 2 of the 3 columns? And immediately, this piqued my interest. If there's a consistent finding when analysing roulette strategies, is that more often than not, if you switch from betting on even chance bets to betting on 2 out of 3 dozens, then the strategy gets better. Inspired by both Magic Raven and Mr. Keefer, we'll call this system the Magic Keefer. Let me explain how it works, and it's worth staying until the end, as I'll point out exactly how much money we can expect to win, and of course, the risks that come with playing this system. Quick reminder that the Keefer system is designed to make money by allowing one player to collect small wins, whilst the other team member breaks even. Just like all roulette systems, it's not foolproof, and your team can lose money if you get unlucky and hit a long losing streak of numbers. With our Magic Keefer system, we're going to use the same principles, but we're going to reduce the probability of hitting a long losing streak, and as a cherry on top, this variation allows both players to win at the same time. Let's bring back my friend Mason from the original Keefer video to illustrate the point. He's terrible at roulette, but even he has a chance of winning by following my lead with this improved system. The downfall is that he's going to need a bigger bankroll than the original version, and you'll see why in a moment. We start off with Mason placing a $1 bet on the first dozen and a $1 bet on the middle dozen. He has 24 out of 37 numbers covered, meaning he's got a 64.8% probability of winning $1. Okay, well that's not exactly groundbreaking, and there's nothing ridiculous about that. Now the second player, or in this example that's me, I place a $1 bet on the middle dozen and a $1 bet on the last dozen. This way, I also have a 64.8% probability of winning $1. Combined together, as a team, we have a total of $4 bet, and the entire roulette layout is covered, with the exception of the number 0. There's $1 on the first dozen, $2 on the middle dozen, and $1 on the last dozen. With this current setup, the only numbers that bring home a profit are the 12 in the middle dozen, which is why any member of the casino management team would be scratching their head thinking what a strange strategy. But it's what we do next that takes this from a stupid roulette strategy to what I think is a pretty clever one. In the original Keefer system, the losing player essentially doubled their bet to either win or recoup their losses whilst the other team member collected the wins. That doesn't work when playing 2 out of the 3 dozens. For example, if the ball was to land in the first dozen, I would have lost $2. If I doubled my next bet to $2 on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $4, then the very best I can hope for is to win back my earlier $2 loss. If I lose this second bet and then double again, well then I'm essentially guaranteed to lose money. Betting $4 on 2 of the 3 dozens, best case scenario can return a $4 profit on that spin, but when we consider I've lost $6 over the last 2 spins, I'm still $2 down. And this loss gets bigger and bigger the longer the losing streak. So what can we do instead if doubling our bet won't work? We can triple our bet instead. In other words, both of us are going to play the tripling game at the same time. By tripling our bet on both of the dozens after a loss, eventually, when we hit a winner, we will have recouped our previous losses and an additional $1 profit. This way, each spin, unless it's a green 0, one of us is going to make $1 profit every single time. With the ability to make a $1 profit every single spin of the roulette ball, the obvious question then becomes, what needs to happen in order for this roulette system to fail? Because trust me, as unlikely as it is that it will fail, it can happen. We'll come on to this point of failure in a minute, and stay with me as I've got some recommendations on what we need to do to reduce our losing probability. Let's break down the numbers. I'll assume you're playing at a European roulette table with a single 0. If you're not, even if you're based in the USA, you can find a good single 0 roulette table by completing the quick 2-minute quiz in the description. So I already mentioned that with the exception of a 0, either myself or Mason is going to make a $1 profit each and every spin, and 12 out of 37 times, or 32.4% of the time, the ball will land in the middle column and we'll both make $1 profit. But surely you can't sit at the roulette table all day, taking turns on winning $1 each spin. What's the trade-off? There must be some risk to this system. Here it is. By crippling our bets each time we lose, our bets can get pretty big pretty fast. Now fortunately, we both have a 64.8% probability of winning, so we should be winning more often than we lose. But if you played roulette for longer than 5 minutes, you know that the roulette wheel isn't always that kind. Starting at a $2 total bet, it goes up to $6, then $18, then $54, and after losing 4 bets in a row, the next spin, you now have to bet a total of $162. And if you win this bet, you've recouped your losses and won the original $1 you set out to win. Having to bet $162 to make a profit of just $1 isn't for everyone, and many will avoid this roulette system like the plague. But it is worth noting that the probability of losing 4 bets in a row whilst you're covering 24 out of 37 numbers is only 1.5%. Now if you're a subscriber to the channel, you'll know that for me, 1.5% isn't low enough. If I'm going to the table with a large bankroll and the goal of slowly growing it with consistent wins, I need the probability of losing to be less than 1%, ideally less than 0.5%. Losing 5 bets in a row is 0.53%, and losing 6 bets in a row has just a 0.18% probability. I've not pulled these numbers out of thin air. To calculate these probabilities, we find out the probability of losing 1 time. In our example, when we cover 24 out of 37 numbers, that means we have 13 out of 37 numbers that cause us to lose. 13 out of 37 as a percentage is 35.1%. Yes, each spin is independent from one another, but the probability of losing 2 of these independent spins in a row is calculated by multiplying 35.1% by 35.1%, which is 12.3%. And to calculate this bet losing 6 times in a row, we multiply 35.1% to the power of 6, giving us our 0.18% probability. This means we could play over 500 spins at the roulette table and still not expect to hit 6 losers in a row. With a dramatically reduced probability of losing comes with a trade-off. We're going to need a much bigger bankroll to weather the storm. Starting at a $1 bet on 2 of the 3 dozens for a total bet of $2, that would then go to 6, 18, 54, and if we lose our 5th bet of 162, our 6th bet needs to be an absolutely gigantic $486. That means you would need a bankroll of $728 to make sure you can go up to the 6th bet. This is a substantial amount of money, even if there is a very small probability of losing. To improve this system, what would it look like if we decided to not get too greedy and instead of starting at a $1 bet on each dozen, we slice this in half and bet just 50 cents on each dozen for a total bet of $1. We would then go from $1 to 3 to 9 to 27. Our 5th bet would now only be $81, and if we lose this, our 6th bet is $243. Still pretty big, but now we need a total bankroll of only $364. And if you're working as a team, that's less than $200 each. Starting at a 50-cent bet can still bring home a good amount of profit. Let me explain what we can expect to see. To clarify, for this system to be effective, you'll need to be playing at a live roulette table at an online casino. There's 2 reasons for this. Number 1, the table limits are a lot better when playing online. Not just the fact they have 50-cent minimum bets, which you will never find at a traditional brick-and-mortar casino, but the table limit ratios at online casinos are also fantastic, meaning that you can hit a long run of losing bets before hitting the table maximum bet. In fact, the online casinos I play at often have betting limits on the dozens from a minimum bet of 50 cents all the way up to a maximum bet of $12,000. That's a 24,000 times ratio, which is quite frankly incredible when implementing betting systems. If you had the bankroll and the minerals, you could lose up to 10 bets in a row before hitting the table limits. And in case you were wondering, the probability of losing 10 bets in a row whilst playing 2 of the 3 dozens is 0.002%. The second reason why the system is only really going to work at an online casino is because of the speed in which they spin the ball. As the dealer doesn't have to calculate any payouts or clean up the chips on the table, Whilst playing online roulette, we can expect a new spin around every 40 seconds, which means we should expect about 90 spins per hour. Compare that to a traditional roulette game. If it's a busy table, even with a quick and competent dealer, it wouldn't be unusual for a new spin to happen every 2 minutes, which means only 30 spins per hour. If we run these probabilities, assuming we don't see 6 dozens in a row and lose our entire bankroll, we can expect to win at least 50 cents every spin, with the exception of the number 0. If we were to play an hour at 90 spins, let's be generous to the casino and say the number 0 lands 3 times, which means we've won 50 cents 87 times, which equals $43.50. But in fact, it's better than that, because 1 in every 3 wins, we can assume it will land in the middle dozen, and by doing so, both players will win 50 cents that spin. Therefore, 29 of those 87 spins, as a team we will win $1. If we add our additional 29 times 50 cents, that's an extra $14.50 profit. Which means, assuming we don't run into our 0.18% probability of losing, this system has the potential to make $58 per hour. And if you started with the suggested $364 bankroll, that's a 15% increase on your money in just 1 hour. You would have to wait close to 2 years to get that sort of return in the stock market. As always, I'm by no means suggesting you cash out all of your investments and take them to the roulette table, but it is an interesting comparison regarding the risk to reward ratio when playing roulette this way. What's great about this system, and just like the original Kefir, you don't actually need a partner in crime to play this system. You could make all the bets yourself, but you'll need to pay close attention to what each bet should be. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and give this roulette system a try, without the help of a friend and placing all the bets myself. Depending on when you're watching this video, you can check it out right here. If you're going to try this system, or any roulette system for that matter, make sure you're playing at a good roulette table with good table limit ratios. If you'd like help finding one of those, then click the link in the description and take the quick 2-minute quiz.